This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends on the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. Grows. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Gleyber Day. And like a good Gleyber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, guess what? I showed up for the show today, and I got an all-star sitting right here in Paul Blackburn. How about that? That's how we're starting the show today. We're going to have no intro, none of the, fancy stuff. We're just going right into pitching, slicing, and dicing. A new nickname. You've been given a lot of nicknames lately. Cody has a new nickname for you, Paulie Ground Ball.
All right, I can take that.
And let's see here, right here.
All right. Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anytime you keeping the ball on the ground, you keep it in the yard, right? So it's a good thing.
I feel like this is the interview we were supposed to do last year at this time, but because of your injury and the finger and the nail, the season just ended. Because when we talked at spring training, we talked about you're going to lead the staff. It feels great to kind of be the veteran guy of the staff. It's kind of what you're doing right now. I feel like we were going to do this last year. It's just a year later. Wow, what a start for you.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Honestly, what a start for us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been playing some great ball lately. I'm just trying to go out there and put up zeros, really. It's so much more fun when you win. And just being able to win some games and just build these young guys' confidence and everything, that's what it's about.
Yeah, and I think about for you, I mean, just being healthy and being able to go do what you do and build off what you're not having to worry about rehabbing or doing any of that. What's that like to start the season? You're fully healthy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's kind of funny to think about that. This is technically only the second opening day roster I've ever really been a part of, as far as being ready to pitch on possibly opening day. 2022 was the first time that happened to me. And that was the first time where I really felt like I was able to ease myself into the season, the flow of the season. And it wasn't like I came up, in a May or a June or July, whatever it may be, where you're kind of coming up trying to figure out, okay, like what is the flow of this group right now? How's everyone feeling? Like, what's the mentality, all that, starting from game one, you kind of get to feel that, and you kind of get to, kind of have a little bit of input on that, on just the direction of everything and all of that, and so when, with me, the two times that's happened to me, being ready to go from game one, I felt a lot just more comfortable out there. I feel like I'm out there and I'm able to think ahead, pitches ahead or situations ahead as far as what I'm trying to do in this situation. What is this situation dictating, telling me I should do? When guy gets on first, less than 2 outs, I'm trying to pitch for a ground ball, and I'm able to be out there, and I'm have a clear mindset with that. Because before, it's like guy gets on base and it's like, okay, I don't want him to get to second, or I don't want him to score, instead of being like, okay, assessing the situation of what you have in front of you and attacking to try and get the result that you want.
All right, I'm going to give you an analogy. It's like the party. It's like joining the party when everybody's already been there, or it's like you're setting up the party. Where does the bar go? Where are people going to dance? Kegs are going to be here. Food is going to be here.
Yes.
You're like at the beginning of the party, setting the party up, versus when you show up, there's already 100 people there and it's a mess.
Yes.
How
That
about
is a great analogy. That is right on.
That's
right
what
on
I was thinking about. Like, because I've never thought of it like that. Like, we always just think like you're on the team. It's just you were hurt, but everything's kind of already got the vibe and the clubhouse and everything. You're just fitting in versus you're setting the tempo now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Really. When you're there from the start, it's a lot easier to know, which direction things are going at that time, instead of walking in. I think I missed 33 games last year. And so when I came back in, it was, those games had already happened. So there was already a direction of which way we were going, or the way certain people were feeling, or whatever it may be. So yeah, just being there from the first game, it definitely just allows all that to happen.
What is it like when you're on the mound and you have control of all your pitches? It's like Batman and his tool belt, right? You got a lot of different, because there's times where you don't have them all, right? There's some that you're going to rely more, you have better feel. What's it like when they're all working?
It's a lot of fun. It's just fun, really. We talked a little bit in spring, and it's just like that cat and mouse game where, hitter walks up with a plan, and I got a plan as well, and my job is to kind of deter them away from their plan. When I throw 6 pitches, when I got all of them working, it's something where, a guy might only see, a guy in his first at bat might see 3 pitches, 4 pitches. Next at bat, he might see 3 or 4 pitches, and they might not even be
how you get to a lineup.
The same pitches they saw the first at bat. But it's a lot of fun. It lets me, it allows me to tunnel and work on, the different tunnels and different lanes of how my pitches play off each other when I have all 6 of them on.
Well, we need you to do something for us. We need you to throw a complete game. We haven't had a complete game in 2 seasons. It's hard to believe. You have that ability for them to, because you're a veteran guy, to go deeper into games. And like you said, when you have 6 pitches, what the guy saw in his first at-bat, second at-bat can be completely different third and fourth at-bat. You got to get one. We can't go another year without a CG.
Yeah.
That's just not right.
I would love one, really. I've actually never had one in pro ball. So yeah, I would love to do that.
What do you think about the staff so far? Because it's an interesting staff, because you got super young and inexperienced in Joe Boyle. Sears is finding himself. You got other veterans, Stripling and Wood. What's it been like?
It's been awesome, really. I think our group as starters, we have great chemistry. We love to talk pitching. We love to talk about deliveries. We love to talk ball. And I feel like there's a lot of importance to that, especially when you mention like Joe. And Joe's obviously young, and he probably has the best stuff out of anybody in the staff, really. Upper 90s fastball, wipeout slider, really good curveball that I think he should utilize more personally. But it's nice when you have, guys that have done it before, and like with Woody and Stripling, and you watch how they go about their business, and you watch how they react to things that happen in game, how you watch how they bounce back from outings, or how they keep outings rolling, how they go out there and they have, their best innings on shutdown innings and things like that, that little things that like a lot of people probably don't even realize, but like stuff like that is huge for younger kids to see, because it's very easy to go out there and fail and then get on that train as far as trying to reinvent a wheel, when, that's never really anything that needs to happen. But when you see other guys go out there and they're able to just, flush bad outings or even flush good outings and just kind of focus on what's next and what's in front of them, I think that really does help.
It is tough to flush bad. It really is. It's like it's a skill. Like they talk about all the time in the NFL, cornerbacks. You're going to get beat. You're going to give up touchdowns. You got to be ready the next time the defense. You got to let it go, right? Yeah. Got to be a goldfish. It's tough to do, but you learn that with experience. And to throw some numbers at you, I've been tracking it since April 3rd. The pitching staff has the best ERA in baseball since April 3rd, 2.66. Starters, you got a 3.08 ERA, which is 7th best in baseball. Bullpen, 1.96, second in baseball. That's stuff we were not talking about last year. What does that mean to you, just not for the starters, for the bullpen, how good they've been, overall, how good the staff has been?
It's been awesome, really. I feel like you take away our first homestand, obviously, and then kind of look what we've done in these last, 10, 11 games. Like, it's been exciting. It's been fun. Like, it's been a completely different mentality and competitiveness, and just as a group, as a whole, really. And as far as the bullpen goes, the bullpen's been unbelievable the whole year. You got guys that in the bullpen that have been asked to go, 3-4 innings that weren't doing that in spring, that haven't done that in, a couple years, and just being able to go out there and just keep doing their job, putting up zeros. And, with the way we've played so far, like, we have confidence in being able to come from behind at any point as an offense. And it feels like that during the game. We never feel like we're out of a game. And, obviously, you hand the ball off to Mason Miller in the ninth. Like, that's obviously very, very fun to watch and very, very special.
Can you imagine what it's like to throw 103?
No, I wish.
I mean, think about your days back hitting, right? I've been trying to think about it. You're up at the plate, right? When do you have no time to decide, do I swing or not?
Yeah.
It's 103. By the time it releases from his hands, it's so on you. Forget even thinking about difference between slider and fastball. Just, I got to swing now.
I got to hit it. Yeah. I really don't know. And it's not like he's a small dude either.
No.
So it's like, I mean, that ball's probably being released from, I don't know, 52 feet, 53
60 feet, 6 inches. But by the time that left foot lands and he's here, what is that?
Yeah, 50. Yeah,
and what's the
0.00000
seconds you have for your brain to decide swing?
Yeah. No, it's incredible. It really is. I mean, I don't have any other words than that. I mean, he's dominant, and he's been dominant. It's really fun to watch.
Let's end on this. This is fun.
It is.
Right? It's like last year was so hard when you lose 112 games. I'm trying to manufacture stuff, right? Trying to keep stuff interesting. This year, I can see it. I can see it, the smile. I can see it in your face. Like, this is way better. This is a lot more fun.
It is. It is. We're having a lot of fun. Really. And like I said, I fully believe that everybody here thinks that we're a good team, that we're a very good team, and that we're gonna surprise some people. And I'm not saying surprise is like we're gonna go out and win a division or anything like that, but I think there's a lot of people that do still kind of view us as what we've been the last couple years, and maybe they take us lightly for a little bit, but I believe that once the season ends, you're gonna look up and you're gonna be like, wow, they had a really good year.
By the way, it doesn't get old when people refer to you as an all-star, right?
No.
It happens for the rest of your life.
I know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really set in yet, but
I mean, you go to Baseball Reference, and it'll always be there next. You go to Wikipedia, it's always going to be there.
It is. Yeah. You are correct.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Great start of the season. Keep it up.
Thank you so much.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Throws and set. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
We got Mike Claiborne on the program with us from the St. Louis Cardinals. how many Hall of Fames are you in again?
I think 5. I think, 5, and I'm going in another one next month. You know what it is? They just run out of people handing stuff to.
No.
I'm old, and
when you're
they
really
they feel sorry
talented,
for me.
that's when you know you're really talented. When someone asks you how many Hall of Fames, you go, I think 5.
Well, I didn't include the grade school Hall of Fame. I had a grade school that they had a Hall of Fame for all their alums, and so anyway, I didn't include that one.
It's been a great career.
I've had fun. Listen, I try and tell young people, be able to work hard at having fun. And if you work hard in this business and pay attention, you'll have a lot of fun because it's something we chose to do. I mean, we didn't have to take another job because it was all we could do. This is something we chose to do. So if you're going to do it right, have fun with it. And that's what I do. And there's been very few days I've left the ballpark or the rink or the arena upset because of what I had to do for a living. And so I'm happy with it.
You know, we talked about yesterday the passing of a great Ken Holtzman, a great left-handed pitcher.
City, Missouri.
Yeah, he's not
far from where I live.
3-time World Series champion. And then, of course, the Hall of Famer now passes away, Whitey Herzog, who did play for the Athletics in Kansas City way back when. Everybody remembers him. The great years in the 70s with the Kansas City Royals as a manager, and then what he did with the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, he's Cardinals royalty. How tough was that for the Cardinal family?
Very
today?
Tough. You know, we were given the heads up before we took the road trip that he was not doing well. And so we were kind of expecting things to go in that direction. But even when you know it's going to happen, it's still hard to accept because he's meant so much to so many people in St. Louis, including myself. When he got to St. Louis in 80, I started in 81.
Oh, wow.
And we'd been good friends, fishing, golfing, you name it. The smartest man I've ever been around in baseball. We get so enamored with the analytics today. You could go in Whitey's office and he'd have these different colored pencils about, spray charts and things of that nature. He was doing analytics before they even had a word for it. He knew tendencies. He had all of that stuff. And he was a guy that was 3 innings ahead of you. You're watching the game now. He knows what's going to happen in the 7th or 8th inning. And he taught a lot of people in St. Louis about baseball. And but the other thing about him, he was a decent player. Played in the Yankees organization. He couldn't hit left-handed pitching. That was his mistake because he was a left-handed hitter. But he was a scout. He was an assistant general manager. He ran a farm system. He was a general manager. He was a manager. He did everything in the game. And he was a guy that watched or listened to every Cardinal game every night. He would know everything you'd want to know about the game last night. He had an incredible recall. I mean, there were things that he could remember, a foul ball that was hitting Montreal in 1984 that most people wouldn't even. I mean, that's how good he was.
Yeah.
But so we're going to miss him. I saw him opening day, and he was not looking well. He was 92.
Yeah.
And he lived a hard 92. So
a good 92.
Oh man, if I could get there, man. If I could get there, I'll be in another Hall of Fame. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Well, I think of Bill Parcells later on would say, hey, if I'm going to cook the meal, I want to shop for the groceries.
Yeah.
Whitey kind of was that guy well before Bill Parcells, where let me manage the team and let me go get the players that I want to manage. And that the whole Whitey ball, a lot of our listeners may not remember, but back when we had big stadiums, AstroTurf everywhere, not going to have a ton of power, let's make it a track meet, play great defense, make it a track meet and pitch. I mean, that's Whitey ball.
That is Whitey ball. And I remember in 82, he said, we may not catch Roger Maris as far as home runs are concerned. 61 home runs is what Roger Maris hit that year, 1 year. I think we hit like 63. But we stole a lot of bases. We were gap-to-gap guys, and we had so much speed. But our defense, starting with Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee, Gold Glover for us, Tommy Herr. I mean, we just had some guys who could pick it. And that was the way we were successful in 1982. And, we were a team that didn't get hot until down the stretch. So Whitey's philosophy was he shaped his team by the ballpark. And you have to give August Busch Jr. a lot of credit. He was the owner of the team. He owned Anheuser-Busch, and he allowed Whitey to do it. Spend the money you need to spend. I want a winner. and Whitey went out and got him one, and they were very competitive up until he resigned in the late 80s.
Pete, I mentioned this, and whenever I say this to the kids, they have to go check it. I go, Tommy Herr had over 100 RBIs and single-digit home runs.
9 home runs.
This was a different era, right?
111 RBIs.
Different era.
No doubt. And when Kansas City won the World Series and everybody was talking about how many bases they stole that year, I think they stole like 280 bases. And Whitey always, we stole 339 that year. I mean, he was so good at shaping his team. And the thing is, everybody loved playing for him. And you've been around the game where there may be a great manager, but he doesn't have the love of his players like some guys do. But Whitey, man, if Whitey had a golf tournament or a fishing tournament, or if he wanted to have a marble contest, all of his players would find a way to show up. And what he did for so many guys who were not necessarily hometown stars or, names that you would always recognize, but when they played for Whitey, he got the most out of them.
Not all managers, especially it seems like a lot of these modern day managers, they do not want to be challenged. They don't want their players challenging them, asking, why the hell am I not playing? Terry Pendleton, I saw today on MLB Network, said Whitey welcomed it because he knew that you cared. He knew that you were in the game. He wanted to tell you why, teach you why, make his players better. Yeah. That's something you don't see a lot.
No, you don't. And you know what? Whitey had a few guys that ended up being pretty good coaches and managers along the way because of the fact that he was very, very transparent with them. He never put you in a situation he didn't think you could succeed in, and he had no problem with you asking questions. He was great with the media. Although I'm not sure if the media today could handle Whitey, because Whitey learned from Casey Stengel. If they ask you one question, take about 10 minutes to answer. And by the time you have to ask another question, you'll be out of time, or they'll forget what they want to ask.
They're worn out.
Oh, yeah. Whitey knew how to drive that media bus better than anyone I've ever seen. But he always had a good answer, a good professional answer. And I'll always miss him for that. And he was a huge basketball guy. He was a referee in the offseason, and he would always come to the St. Louis U games to sit courtside, and he'd come over, Mike, what are they doing out there? They don't do this. He was so observant about basketball. That was his second favorite sport. Well, fishing was his first. But he was a wonderful person to be around.
He loved being a third base coach.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of the toughest jobs because no one ever says, great job, you got that run. And everybody's like,
how'd you let that guy get cut down at the plate?
But he loved it.
He did. He loved those sort of challenges. But here's the other thing that Whitey should get credit for. As we celebrated Jackie Robinson Day yesterday, Whitey ran out 9 black players one night. And that had not happened since 1971 when Danny Murtaugh did it with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Whitey didn't care about what color you were or where your zip code is from. He just wanted some ball players who wanted to come out and play. And he took the John Madden approach. He only had 2 rules: be on time, play like hell when you're here. Other than that, he didn't really care what you did. And I'll give you a good example. We had a player in postseason one year. His sister was involved in a domestic issue. He goes to Whitey in the middle of this playoff round and says, Skip, I got to go home and handle some business. He said, what do you mean? He said, well, the guy put his hands on my sister. He flies down. The guy opens the door. He beats him within an inch of his life, gets back on the plane, comes back to St. Louis, and it was ready to pitch the next day. Now, how many managers would have let that happen?
It's a different time.
Yeah, it is. It is a different time. But his players loved him.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. They do anything in the way. They trusted him. And I can't say that all great managers or coaches, players trusted, but they did with Whitey.
And it's really hard to have that trust because so many of the decisions being made about how many at-bats, how many innings are being made from upstairs. It's not people. The days of Tommy Lasorda, Earl Weaver, that kind of. So it's kind of tough to have that trust because manager can say whatever he wants, but you know that all the decisions are being made up top.
Here's the other thing that I think Whitey was starting to have a problem with. I think it's one of the reasons why he walked away. He and agents didn't get along. Whitey was like, what do you need an agent for? We can do this. And, agents have such an impact in the business now. That was a thing that Whitey would push back on. And he walked away from a couple of players in those early stages, in the early days of free agency, that he said, no, we're not doing that. We'll take a pass. And so there were some players we missed out on. And you know what? Whitey found a way to win no matter what.
Let's end on this. Obviously, St. Louis is one of the great sports towns, one of the great baseball towns. just tell our fans, when you talk about a place that's all about baseball, I think your guys' Hall of Fame is almost like a Hall of Fame. When you walk in, you feel like, kind of reminds me of the Green Bay Packers when you go into their Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just talk about baseball in St. Louis and what it's like to be around in your career.
It's must watch. Our opening day ceremonies are epic because we bring out all the Cardinal Hall of Famers. They wear their red jackets, and every player introduces them. It gets introduced to them. We always have some great entertainment. But the fact that the fans really understand the game, if a player from the other team makes a good play, hey, man, they're standing up cheering for him because they want to see good baseball. They're very loyal. They're a little antsy right now. You lose 91 games, everybody's a little – they got the red ass a little bit with regard to what's going on. But they're very supportive. I've never heard a player say, I can't wait to get out of St. Louis. There are players, and I'm sure you've been around and say, that wasn't a good experience for me. Well, we don't have that very often. And I think it has a lot to do with Cardinal organization. They find character people. And if they don't have a character guy, they get rid of it. And we've been very fortunate in my time. I've been in the business since 1981. I've been with the Cardinals since 2006, but I covered them. I can name the bad guys on one hand that have come through there in 40-plus years. And it has a lot to do with tradition. You know, when you have guys – and we've lost a few here in the last few years, and Bob Gibson and Bruce Sutter and people like that. When those guys show up at spring training and talk to these young guys, and Ozzy's really big on that. Ozzy takes all the young guys to dinner in spring training, and the youngest guys sit closest to him so he can learn about it. Every young guy has his phone number. Every guy talks to, even the veterans. Nolan Arenado, who had never met Ozzy until last year. Because of COVID and everything. And so when I found out, I said, you guys haven't, I don't know him. So we did a sit down. It was a 3-man sit down. And to listen to those two talk about defense and gold gloves was just epic. And now Ozzy and Nolan are tight. And they always talk about, for instance, you know, Nolan said, well, how many ground balls do you take as the season goes on? Do you cut back? And Ozzy said, no, man, I take 100 balls, at least 100 balls a day. And then they started talking about positioning and, you know, how do you play this guy? And now I'm like, man, this is phenomenal. But that's who the Cardinals are as far as our organization. And I see Ricky Henderson out here, and I'm sure he's trying to maintain that same sort of tradition with these young players and be helpful. And that's kind of what the game is lacking right now, tradition. And fortunately, I've been exposed to the Cardinal tradition, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, we always say this after we leave the winter meetings. We have to apologize to everybody because we are a loud show.
Just a little bit.
We're a loud show.
It's all right, though.
But as I tell everybody, it's the entertainment business.
There you go.
We're here to get numbers. We're here to entertain. But we were next to you, and it was great to meet you. The best part about it was, though, being right in between the Cardinals and the Cubs, and to watch Cubs television just mope around because they're not signing anybody, nothing's happening, and you guys are happy with your pitchers. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and you know what? We love the Cubs. I like them a lot when we don't play them. But, you know, it was a hard off season for them because they thought they were going to get this guy and that guy, and all that stuff started to fall through. And they'll be a handful, though, before the season's over with. And we look forward to playing them. You know, we have a very interesting division. You know, Milwaukee, maybe we thought they were going to take a step back. Nope. They have the best record in the division. Pittsburgh hasn't really realized they're Pittsburgh yet, and they'll slip a little bit. Cincinnati has a lot of young talent. I don't know if they have enough winning players yet. And then they're the Cubs, and they're the Cardinals. And I can guarantee you this, we won't lose 91 games.
Well, let's do this again later on the season.
Can't wait, man. And you know where to find me.
Appreciate your time.
I'll see you at the winter meetings.
He's going to be 6-time Hall of Famer?
Yes. I'm very proud of all of them.
You should be. He's one of the greats right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Throws and set. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
You deserve extra. Extra Mile is where you get it. You don't just deserve breakfast. You deserve extra fresh Mile 1 coffee just the way you like it. You deserve more than a quick bite. You deserve an extra satisfying array of hot foods, extra good snacks, and fountain drinks that help you go the extra mile. Plus, with Extra Mile rewards, you can earn free stuff. Visit Extra Mile at select Chevron and Texaco locations. See program terms and conditions for details.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdog Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me, or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest team highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
Streaming from the studio, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Our friend Eno Sarris is here from The Athletic, and we were just talking about how this time of the year, when we're out here, the sun is just like right there. And then like in a couple minutes, it'll be gone, and then we'll look like we're in complete darkness.
As my hairline recedes, the more I have to like put sunscreen further and further back on my forehead. I've definitely burned like the crowns of my head. And like, oh yeah, skin's there.
Getting older, my friend. Getting
Lovely.
older.
It's really
By the way,
great.
happy birthday to your son today.
That's right. Hey, happy birthday, Felix, if you're listening.
12 years old. The best time of your life.
Yeah, he's having a good time. Little League,
Oh,
collecting baseball cards.
riding your bike with
He
your
did
buddies.
his first fantasy league. He's in his
Oh.
first fantasy league. He's winning. Of
It
course
doesn't
he
get
is.
any
As bad
better.
as me.
Yeah, he better. Are you GMing it?
I'm trying not to tell him what to do. I just give him little pieces of advice, like, what stats are stickier and like, where he should look and how he should sort and what he should be looking for.
So Mark Kotsay, the manager of the A's, just walked by. And we were talking about when we're going to do the Mark Kotsay show when he's in Cleveland. And we talked about some things. And I said to him, I said, man, it's pretty amazing looking down at the bullpen and watching Waldachuk throw today. And we just kind of laughed and went, this new bracket, we the Brock Purdy surgery that we've learned from Dr. Meister. It's, Tommy John, you would have not have seen Ken Waldachuk on a mound throwing like that.
Another 6 months.
He was bringing it. That bracket that they do and the way they've changed Tommy John surgery I'm not going to say it's a miracle, but it is impressive.
Well, the situations has to be a little bit right. It's called internal brace. And what it has to be is like not a full tear. And so every time you hear that someone has a sprained UCL, a sprain is a tear. And so it's just a question of how thorough the tear is and where the tear is on the elbow. And if you are in a certain place on the elbow, you can do just an internal brace, which is basically almost like a little piece of like plastic or whatever that goes in there and like sutures the two parts of the tear together, almost like stitches for a ligament,
Yeah.
and holds it in place for 6 months. And then the recovery time is 6 to 8 months. On full TJ, they're actually taking like a ligament, usually here, they take a ligament out of your wrist or out of your hamstring, and they're taking like other ligaments and putting them on and trying to like graft it together. And that recovery timeline, it's better if you wait 16 months.
Yeah. It's
more
it
like
used
14 to 16.
Remember guys tried to come back quicker than a year, and then we realized bad news, 14 months at least.
You're back out again. So even now what they're doing is on the regular Tommy Johns, they're doing the brace too. So they're doing hybrid surgeries. That's if you have a full tear, they'll do the hybrid surgery because they're like, maybe this will help you go faster. But if you have a smaller tear, I think it must have been what Ken had, either in a smaller tear or in a different part of his elbow, you can just do the brace and you can get back quicker.
So even full on Tommy John's how you get the brace.
Of that. Yeah, you get the
so hopefully we don't see you again.
Yeah, I mean the dumbest way the future happens, and it's always in the picture. If you've seen Idiocracy, the dumbest thing might happen. The dumbest thing is people doing this on purpose and like leaving braces in their elbows to like keep their elbows together so they can throw 99. I don't know. That's a possibility. We could engineer something. What do you think then baseball would ban it? Like if you could have a surgery that would basically keep your ligament together and was reliable,
preemptive surgery, basically.
Yeah, almost like a metal, like a tungsten little thing.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, the things people put into their bodies.
People were doing preemptive Tommy John. That was a bad idea. Don't do that. But if we could put something in there that braced that ligament.
People have been enhancing things on their bodies for many, many years. You want to tell them to stop?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? You got anything in your lips? Or you got any? Yeah.
I got a couple fake teeth.
Weird. Stuff Plus, which is a lot of fun, but I've been delving into this world. I talked about it last night, this text thread I've been on, where this constant chase of velocity and spin and the way we use plyo balls, and there's all these different things. Like everybody was bragging when Bieber went to Driveline down in Scottsdale and one start in and he's done right after that. Like this chase, like your Stuff Plus is that chase, right? It's this unbelievable stuff that's unhittable. and you're nasty, but we know that for some human beings, their arms can't sustain it. Are you ever torn about it?
I mean, I get blamed. I think it's a little bit unfair to blame me. I'm collecting stats and I'm trying to.
You
be
work
an
for the
analyst.
Athletic. We cannot blame you for anything that
Well,
happens.
I'm an analyst. And
Yeah.
analysts, and I don't even want you to blame the analysts for teams, because analysts are just trying to win games given the resources they have. They're just trying to help teams win games. And so, we had an argument the other day, but like, oh, it's data's fault. There's this. And I'm like, is the radar gun data? It is.
Yes.
It is. But we've also had the radar gun for a long time.
Correct. We always pitch to the radar gun.
And I hesitate to blame the analysts because it takes all the agency away from the players. Like my kid, he's 12 years old. I don't have to tell him to throw as hard as he can when he's on the mound. There's something inherent about standing on the mound, and I'm going to try and shape. I'm going to try and move it. Like, what do you do when you're a kid and you stand out? I'm trying to move this ball.
Let me make a point to that too. Is what baseball does a really bad job, and golf is now doing a really great job of it, is talking about your subconscious. When you get on the mound, whether you say, Chris Townsend, I'm facing you, I'm going to throw it as hard as I can to Eno. I don't have to say that because my subconscious is going to do that anyway.
I'm trying to dominate.
So they found when you get up there, and that's why golf realized if I get up there to hit a golf ball, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go after it,
Yeah,
right?
right?
Your subconscious, you put an axe in your hand. Anything you put in your hand, you're going to hit. You're not going to go.
So are there sort of like mental cues for not swinging as hard as you can, or
well, there is
ways to
something where
manage
you
it?
really talk yourself into tempo and stuff. But subconsciously, your body
wants to win.
When your body runs, your body doesn't go, I want to run slow. Your body wants to run fast. Your subconscious takes over.
I do long distance running, and one of the hardest things has been I do this thing called run slow to run fast, and it's basically about keeping your heart rate in zone 1. So that's 140 beats per minute. So I have to tell myself to run slower to become better at running further. And so, there are these ways. So, okay, back around to baseball. Could we use words and coaching to try and coax better, healthier relationships with the sport out of what's happening? Yes. And I have a multi-part plan. One of them is the double hook, where the DH has to come out of the game when your starting pitcher comes out of the game. What I think that does is create a little bit of a need for length out of front offices. They want length. Okay?
Yes.
So you're incentivizing length. Another one, healthy scratches. I tell the A's, you need to tell me 5 pitchers that are active for tonight. 5.
Like hockey.
Yes, like hockey, like basketball. You have 5 active pitchers. Everybody else is not eligible to get into the game unless it maybe goes to extras. Maybe you get another pitcher or 2 in extras, whatever. Like the emergency hockey goalie. Like there's just like a third goalie that can be sitting in the stands.
Zamboni driver.
Yeah. So active. And the reason I like that is if I as a team say, well, I have to choose 5 players tonight, I can only pitch 5 guys tonight. You know what I'm going to start putting an emphasis on?
Innings.
But also modeling fatigue and like really knowing workload and really having a different relationship with my relievers and my pitchers, and just being like, listen, I care about you for your health, and I have to designate someone. And my model right now says that you might hurt yourself if you go out there and pitch tonight. So this makes the most sense. We are collaborating on finding the best tonight. Now, maybe the MLBPA says, what about saves? What about holds? What about these incentives? I don't know, man. The average number of pitchers that pitch in a game any given night is about 5. So I'm not cutting down the number of pitchers. That's something that won't fly with the MLBPA. I'm going to try to cut it to 10 pitchers on the roster. No, that's not going to fly. That's jobs out the window. This is more, let's regulate it. Let's think about workload. Let's try to keep them healthy. Let's designate 5 that are going to be that are the healthier pitchers tonight. Let's try to limit how many pitchers you have available to you without limiting the jobs.
I dig it. One of the reasons why, and Bob Melvin taught me this years ago, that he doesn't want to tell us is he wants the other team to think everybody's available. But right now we're trying to keep people healthy. That's far more important.
Right.
The question would be position players pitching,
Yeah, that could be a way to fill in a lot of innings, and we might get a lot of them, and that would suck, I think.
But I like the hook. I like the hook of the minute the starting pitcher goes, the DH goes.
Yeah.
Because the DH right now is not our traditional, like, Reggie Jackson, Dave Winfield, George Brett, future Hall of Famer, just doesn't play defense.
It's the guy taking a day off.
It's exactly. Yeah. So it's like I kind of like the double hook. I like that.
And the last thing is make it clear to people that it's not just velo; it's your relative velo to your max. So the closer you are to your maximum on any given night, it's more stressful. So, I have heard pitchers say this, and if this was a more common phrasing, I think that maybe we could get somewhere, which is have 100, sit 96.
Correct.
And if that's a healthy way to live, actually, because Verlander is one of the healthier guys, power pitchers of our time. I know he got Tommy John, but
that was
like
late.
At 40.
Late.
That's like Ryan got hurt late too. It's and Verlander used to do this very obviously, where he'd be sitting 93, 94 early, and then seventh inning he needs a big strikeout, and it's it's 97, 98, and even more. So have 100, sit 96, and the golden rule is you want 3+. You want 3+ miles an hour between your max and your thing. It's going to take a while though, because there's so many people that all the rules recently have been offense friendly. Right.
Well, because offense stinks.
Anyway, the rules have been offense friendly.
You want to keep
no offense stinks. Yeah.
We're watching game after game where you're just seeing. It's great when guys hit home runs, but the rest of the time there's no action.
Right. And so I've mostly been a fan of those rules, but as a pitcher, you're like, man, these rules are offense friendly, and there's like a million guys behind me, and I have one foot in the grave at any moment, in terms of my life in baseball. And I looked at a list of the pitchers who are closest to their max. It's all 6 starters, guys 3 years into the big leagues, guys who might be relievers or might be starters. You know what I mean? It's like Joe Boyle's on that list. What is Joe Boyle trying to do? Prove he belongs,
So every pitch is max.
Right.
Every
because
pitch.
Because if I don't, they got somebody else.
No, you're going back down.
Yeah. So you can't tell someone to pitch softer because they know it's better for them to throw harder.
Sunday Night Baseball, I brought this up yesterday on the show. Sunday Night Baseball is like the Monday Night Football, right? Or Sunday Night Football. We're highlighting the sport. This is the game.
And they always come into the big conversations. They had the big conversation about injuries.
Yeah, the big conversation. It's like, do we have anything that we can highlight as a positive in the game right now? That's
a lot
fair
of pitchers
question.
throwing 99 and 100.
Is there anything positive? Like every single time we turn around, it's PEDs. Now pitchers can't stay healthy. It's
sticky stuff.
It's sticky stuff. Is there anything that's positive?
I think we're getting to a place where athleticism is important on the diamond. You can't just put a DH at second base and shift him around and get the value out of him. Now we're getting younger. It's a younger, faster game. People have to be more athletic on the diamond. There are some – I really enjoy a lot of the young guys like Ellie De La Cruz. Your eyes go to that. There's some athletes in the game right now that we've never had before. Like Ellie De La Cruz is a 6'6" shortstop that throws 100 and runs faster than anybody else in baseball. Like we have people like that, and we have measurements where we can celebrate that. And we can be like, damn, this guy is one of the fastest 3 guys in baseball, throws 100 and is 6'6" and plays shortstop. Like this is crazy, so we can do that. And sometimes we do, and a lot of times the fear button also. Like if you watch the local news or you watch any news, the fear button is a powerful one.
Oh, it's always the first one.
It's the worst.
The first few blocks of your news will all be bad stories.
It's because
but you know what I need? I need Carrie Underwood. Here comes Sunday night. Sunday Night Football. It's the Vikings and the Packers. They're selling sizzle on the steak.
Yeah.
We don't have Carrie Underwood and sizzle on the steak. We need some of that in baseball.
Well, and some of that I think it's easier to coalesce in football because you have fewer games. There's that one game, that one day.
But they're selling entertainment. I don't care how many games, they're selling entertainment. They have all their issues in the world. They're not bringing them up on their primetime game. They're selling the game.
I wonder if injuries is a big part of this, because if you think about football, the other thing that you do is you celebrate the running back and the quarterback and the wide receiver, right? You celebrate the big skills. Like sometimes they'll do a thing with the linemen, but like mostly it's those skill positions. And if you have constant injuries, and especially this year, Spencer Strider, and Shane Bieber, recognizable names that if they were pitching on Sunday Night Baseball, you say, oh, tonight the big matchup, Spencer Strider and Shane Bieber going head to head,
Remember the NFL had a concussion issue, which they swept. Hey, don't look over here. They weren't highlighting it on Monday Night Football. Hey, let's talk about the lawsuits, everybody.
That's true. Like they didn't.
I know what I'm talking about. I worked in the NFL for years.
They didn't have a whole 10-15 minute segment on Sunday Night Baseball.
Hey, let's bring on the lawyers to talk about CTE. They don't do that, so that's why it's like we need something that spices it up right now for people who want to get like Baseball Savant. Like where do you hang out when you want to look at, because basically it's all stuff off Radar. A radar gun, we're all looking at Radar. Radar was started years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about for baseball, it's military, all that. Radar tracks the ball. We're basically tracking the baseball, wherever it goes, how it goes. So what are the best places to hang out?
I think Savant is pretty good. If you get more into the stats, you can get on Fangraphs. That's good. But Savant, what's the kind of cool, and it's not always the most important stuff, so some of it will lead you astray, but I like that they color code. And so if you look at different stats on Savant, they'll show you red is bad. No, red is good. And blue is bad. That's right. Red, blue. They're red, blue. So I like that because it helps you in where you say, oh, that number is good. They got the color coding that helps me. Then you start to look at different player pages. So I like the player pages, and they can tell you stuff like, this guy is one of the fastest 3 people in baseball. Like that's something you can see pretty quickly when you look at a page like that.
For me, when I look at it for pitchers, it can show you that on a given night, like let's say tonight, JP Sears, we know exactly what he was spinning it in a no-hit effort against Texas. And if you go out tonight, we're in a different environment. We're not in Texas. We're not in a dome. There's more moisture in the air, so you should be able to get more spin. Like just to see, like, is he on? Is he off? Is there a difference in what way? Because there's going to be different spin in Arizona and in places of light altitude versus
another thing that I like about Savant is that they have pitch movement numbers. And I know that pitch movement numbers to someone who hasn't been sort of immersed in this looks like, just like, what do these numbers mean? 10, 15, what do they mean? And that's why I like the color coding, because they also has like percent more than average.
Pass fail. Tell me if it's good or not.
Right. So to a certain extent, I think Stuff Plus is better, but to a certain extent, you can look at the Savant movement and get a sense of like, oh, look at all this red. Like this guy. And Sears, for example, has good vertical movement from a low slot. So I think that shows up on the Savant page where his vertical movement will be red, even though on a raw basis it might be lower than somebody else's. So they adjust for things and give you a sense of what's good and what's bad.
Can you like a pitcher who's good and gets a lot of outs who doesn't have Stuff Plus? Are you allowed to like him?
No, I mean, I watch a lot of Little League.
If Jamie Moyer came walking through that door, are you going to be all right with it?
Well, here's one thing. I watch a lot of Little League, and there's a lot of walks in Little League.
I can't
a lot of walks, just a carousel of walks.
Strikes.
And so I think the one thing that I really do appreciate are strike throwers now. Like when I watch big leagues, it's strike throwers move the game along. I think the defense is more ready. Everyone's just more. It's not a lot of walking around the mound. Oh, 3-2 count again. You know what I mean? Like,
that's a boring brand of baseball.
Like George Kirby does not have the best Stuff Plus in baseball, but he has some of the best. Aaron Nola, Paul Blackburn. These are guys that put the ball where they want to put it and keep the game moving.
All right, get out of here. You got to go.
Birthday party time.
Birthday. Are you having a party?
Oh, we're going out to dinner.
Oh, nice.
Sushi dinner.
Then cake, ice cream.
Yep, got some cake for him afterwards.
God.
And a big old box of Tops to break open.
Oh, he's in baseball cards?
That's right.
Yeah. Do they still have the gum in the baseball, the stale gum?
No, that would be bad for the cards.
Remember that?
These are collector's items.
Remember this stale gum?
Oh, I found some with some old gum and ate it, and that was a bad idea.
That was was that Donruss that used to have the gum in it?
I think even Tops did, but back in the 80s. So I ate like a
back in the day, we looked forward to the
40-year-old piece of gum. You know what that thing did? Just disintegrated.
99% of these cards are worthless. It's a bunch of guys that are terrible.
So much. A lot of what I collected was worthless. All the stuff that I collected that was older than my time is the stuff that's actually still out.
But do you remember as a kid, you look forward to the gum?
I remember I thought I had like, back in the day, you used to like get a card of a good player and you'd be like, oh, this must be worth something. Now you're like, well, is it chrome or is it an insert or does it have a signature on it? Then I don't care.
You just can't have a straight Tops card be worth something now?
Not really. No, it's got to be one of the inserts.
So I still have in a box after my mom died because we kept them at her house.
The old ones, if they're rookie cards.
I have a bunch of rookies.
The rookies.
Donruss, Tops.
Yeah, the rookies
Fleer,
will have some value, yeah.
They're still worth something.
Yeah.
My King Griffey Jr. is still
worth something. But they did really overprint during that time. Like there was just too many of them. So it's just a supply and demand type thing.
My prized possession is Joe Montana.
Nice.
Have you heard of him? According to these young 49er fans,
I got a Dominique Wilkins rookie. I grew up in Atlanta, Dominique Wilkins. I was like, he's better than Jordan. If he just had a good center, he would beat him.
Hey, Dominique Wilkins was the human highlight reel, if you remember.
Yeah.
One of the great dunk contests of all time. He and Larry Bird used to have epic matchups.
Oh, my God. So much trash talking. It was great.
And they scored a lot of points. All right, get out of here.
Yep,
get out of here.
See it.
Coming up next, what do we got? We got the Bipster, Bip Roberts, one of my all-time favorite players when I was growing up. Bip was my guy, and he's next right here on A's Cast Live. This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the games. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. They have a new spring menu with special dishes and a full bar with new delicious spring cocktails. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
Become an A's insider today. Visit athletics.com/newsletter and sign up to receive the latest team highlights, up-to-date news, features, and more, all delivered free to your inbox. That's athletics.com/newsletter.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Now back to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, you're going to see him later on today on NBC Sports California doing A's pre- and post-game live. That's not why I bring him on, though. Not because he's a TV star. I don't bring him on because he's a former A, and I don't bring him on because he grew up in Oakland. I bring him on because he was one of my favorite players growing up. The All-Star Bip Roberts.
Towny, what's up, man?
The 1992 All-Star game got brought up, and I went, oh, yeah, I was there, Jack Murphy Stadium, and you were in that game.
Yeah, what a day that was. It's something I never forget because the previous year I was with the Padres. That winter I got traded to Cincinnati, and I was just like, man, I was just messed up in the head. Thinking,
devastated for you. That was hard.
It was really hard, man. And I go to Cincinnati, and I start off like hitting 199 in April. So I'm thinking, wow, this is just bad all the way around. Really? And then after April, I started to pick it up, and started having a better year. And I remember, man, where they asked Lou Piniella, who was your all-star? And he said, I was. I was kind of shocked. And then, Bobby Cox is like, okay, well, he's an all-star. And so now I'm thinking the all-star game is in San Diego. I get to go back to San Diego as an all-star. And just taking that line with all those great players. And when they got to me, my uncle told me, because he had been in the Army, he says, hey, when they get to you, give them the salute. And so when they got to me, I gave them the salute. And I took my hat off, and the crowd just
crowd
it was crazy,
went
man,
nuts because they loved you.
Yeah,
they loved you.
Yeah,
and you got for a visiting guy. Now, obviously the National League guy, but everybody knew you were back. You got that has to be one of the highlights of your life to have that many people sold out, 50-something thousand, just go ballistic with you being announced.
It really was crazy, and I just remember. It seemed like it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I forget who it was, but they reached over and hit me in the back of the head. It's like, put your hat back on. Let's go, man. So it was a good time. Everybody realized that I was coming back to San Diego because I had flew in. We had played the Pirates, and Barry was with the Pirates at that time. And I remember us flying back together from Cincinnati and just talking about just baseball and life in general.
All right. I thought about this last series against the Nats and A's, and what we're seeing in baseball. You have to like it. We're seeing teams run at will right now.
Yeah. I was just talking to the great one over there, Ricky Henderson, and that's what we were talking about as to, back in our day, if we had a pitch timer and then we knew the pitcher would only throw over there 3 times. It's like, wait a minute, we distract him, get him to throw over a couple times. Now the pitch clock is in his head and he can't throw to first base. How many bases were we still back in the day? So I really love to see athleticism in this game because it shows you again that this game is not just a game where you can, change the game by getting a hit. You can change the game by using your legs and getting a scoring position. And then now you get a big hit. So I think that it's really good that the game has come full circle when it comes to stealing bases.
Yeah, talk about that a little more. Bip Roberts is out on the bases. You've got the catcher's attention. You've got the pitcher's attention, which causes him maybe not to deliver the best pitch. How many times do you think you influenced hits, doubles, home runs, runs scored, and you didn't even steal, but just the fact they were worried about it?
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of managers back in the day would say, always make it look like you're going to steal on every pitch. So now what happens? You draw pitch outs. You're in the catcher's head. Now all of a sudden the pitcher speeds up his windup. Now the hitter's in the box thinking maybe I'm going to get that fastball I was looking for. And so without even moving, you've got into the heads of 3 different people. But the good part is that your hitter now is looking for that fastball. When he gets it, he drives it in the gap and you score a run. But it's just amazing how even if you're not stealing bases, how you can get in the pitcher's head. And nowadays, again, because of the pitch timer and the ability to not be able to throw there as many times as you want to. Now you are really in that pitcher's head. Things start to speed up on him. And because it speeds up on him, he now makes a mistake in the zone, and that's good for the guy at the plate.
Well, and just as a former pitcher, I just think about I throw over. Now I got to get sure it's a balk, right? I can't even imagine how you would not everybody in the world be saying I'm stealing bags.
Yeah, everybody.
I mean, I'm not the fastest dude in the world. I'd be thinking about stealing bags. I mean, how can you not?
You're absolutely
you
right.
can get the biggest jumps. It's unreal.
You're absolutely right. You can get the biggest lead now knowing that he's not coming over there. Because, again, if you're always looking like you're going, he's thinking, well, he's been doing that the last 2 pitches. He's not going. But then the catcher's thinking, hey, one, and he's pitching out because he can see you at first base. It looks like you're going every pitch. And I just think that is something that when you can get into the head of a pitcher, you now have him at your mercy. Because I'm looking at this game now, and it seems like every time the pitcher gets the ball back from the catcher, there's like 4 seconds left on the clock. And you're like, man, he's got to speed up again. And so now that he's sped up, the runner on first base is like, man, this guy's not even looking at me at first base. And so now you get a bigger lead. He's not looking. Boom, you go. That's an easy stolen base.
How about the left-handed pitcher who would have multiple moves, right? He would have his show me move. He'd have the quick, and then he would have his balk move.
Right.
That was to really get you. Well, a left-handed pitcher can't show you all those moves now because by the third one he has to get you, right?
Absolutely. So he's got to show you his best right off the bat, or basically saying, okay, listen, I can get the ball over there. I see you, but I'm not really concerned about you because my thought process is I now look at that pitch timer. I've got 7 seconds to go. I got to get my sign, and now I have to get the delivery going towards home plate before the timer runs out. So he's looking at you, but he's not really looking at you. Most lefties, they have something that really gives it away. I remember Davey Lopes used to tell us, hey, when a lefty was on the mound and I'd get to first base, he would say, hey, look up under his right armpit. And if you can see daylight, that means he's coming to first base. And I would say, Davey, you see that? And he goes,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
And so I would pick that up. And as long as I will stay there and read the move from the lefty, I could steal second base. So it's just amazing how the game has changed.
The A's in 17 games have 180 strikeouts. I talked about growing up watching you play. The guy that you played with, the Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, is someone I watched my entire life. They always have stuff on Instagram about Tony now that just it tells you that it's very hard to say someone who's better actually at baseball with contact at a bat. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. His career, his hand-eye coordination was just so incredible. Listen to Greg Maddux talk about it. These guys now, these strikeouts and these 113, 130. I mean, can you imagine? You had to hit 350 just to get called up. Jack McKeon wouldn't call you up until you had to hit 350. We got guys Hernandez is starting tonight. He's not even hitting 100.
Yeah, back in our day, 250 wasn't acceptable. And so you would get sent back to the minor leagues, and not only for 1 year, but you might be there 2 years to prove that you could actually hit. I remember my second year in AAA, I hit a full season of 353, and then I was called up, and I was like, wow. And at that time, every time you had a good game, it was on the scoreboard at Jack Murphy. So when I get up there, Gary Templeton says, we knew you were coming back because we could see everything you were doing. And I said, wow, really? And he goes, yeah, Jack McKeon told us Bibb is coming back. And it took that 353 season. If I don't hit 353 that year, I may not be in a Padre uniform. I may be somewhere else as a minor league free agent. So you cannot get to the next level or have success if you don't put the ball in play. And to strike out as many times as guys strike out now in our day would have been a defeating type of situation where, well, this guy can't put the ball in play. He's striking out over 100 times in a season. We could not do that. The game was based around putting the ball in play, making the defense work, and making the defense make the plays. Nowadays, a strikeout is just like a walk at times. Guys strike out, and it doesn't seem like they're upset like we used to be. I remember Kim Canaminetti, when he struck out a few times, what would he do?
Flip out.
He'd break that bat over his leg and said, I don't need that bat anyway because I'm striking out. But guys took strikeouts serious.
Okay. I know you've told me in the past, actually you've told me on the show, like 3 strikeouts was just not acceptable. How would you view a teammate who kept striking out, like let's say 2-3 times a game?
Well, if that was consistent, then we'd have to, break it down and say, hey, man, what are you looking for?
So
Why?
you as players would go to the guy.
Yeah. I remember having a couple tough games, and then I'm talking with Gary Templeton after the game, and he said, hey, come by the room. I want to show you exactly what you were doing today. And so I go by his room, and he put a towel down. And he said, okay, let's get up to the plate. And he said, now go through your progression. And I'd go through my progression. He said, that's not what you were doing today. So we would critique each other. We would know because we watch you more than you watch yourself. We would know, okay, today Towny's not getting his backside through. What is he thinking about today? Or Towny's not getting his hands going like he's normally doing. So we would, mirror each other and say, hey, listen, man, this is what you were doing when you were going well. This is what you were doing when you were struggling today.
Do you think enough of that goes on today?
I don't know. I don't know because I'm not around these guys. This is a whole new generation. I'm 60 years old now. These guys are in their 20s, so they could be my grandson. You know what I'm saying? I hope that they still do that. I hope that they still understand and watch each other and help each other.
You're not waiting for the coach.
No.
You got your fellow players. I mean, because I know how much, as you mentioned, Gary Templeton was such a huge role model for you. Here comes young Roberto Alomar, Hall of Famer. I mean, Tony Gwynn and you. How many times did you hit with Tony Gwynn?
Man, I hit with Tony Gwynn for like six winters where we just went up in the cage and just critiqued each other's swing and whatever we saw. And that was the thing about it. When I was a rookie, I couldn't talk to Tony because I didn't know the language. I didn't know what I was actually seeing until I worked with Tempe, and Tempe broke my swing down. And then now when I'm working with Tony, I could say, okay, T, hey, get your hands through that pitch, or get your, you came off that pitch, or whatever it may be, stay inside that pitch. And he would do the same for me. And it just clicked because he made me a better hitter.
Yeah, the verbiage.
Yeah, if you don't understand the verbiage, how can you understand what somebody's
saying? It's like coding
saying?
in. If I don't know how to code, I don't know how the hell does this thing work? I don't know.
Exactly. Because I remember when I first met Tony, it was up at Gary Templeton's cage at his house. And he said, hey, man, show him that 5.5 hole swing. And Tony showed it to me. And I was like, what the hell is that? I had no idea what it was.
But listen to that. Guy's got a cage in his house. These guys all live near each other.
Right.
The off season. So I don't think that goes on. Like they'll go work out certain places, but you're talking about teammates all lived around each other. You went to one guy's house, probably had a couple pops, had some fun, but you worked out together. I mean, that builds team.
It really does. And then Gary gave me a key to his cage. So he said, hey, you need to work on this every day. And that was just the ball on the tee and hitting the ball and making it bounce off the plate. He said, after a couple of weeks, he said, you don't need me here to do that. You can do this on your own. Here's the key to the cage. And I just kept doing it. And I kept doing it for those 2.5, 3 months. And then after the third month, he said, okay, today we're going to hit. And after those 3 months, my swing totally changed. But I had to go back to AAA for those 2 years. So I was in AAA the first year after understanding what it meant to be a hitter. And I hit 300 that year, but 306 wasn't good enough in AAA. So I ended up going back to
306. That's 3. The batting average that starts with a 3 wasn't good enough.
Wasn't good enough.
Unbelievable.
It sure wasn't.
All right, I know you got to go. I know you got to do television. This A's team far more exciting to watch with your keen eye as someone who played at the highest level, who's coached, who's done everything that you've done. How much more fun is it to watch this group of A's players?
I really enjoy it because this group is very coachable. And not only are they coachable, they have some talent behind that. When I watched what Geloff is doing, I said, okay, man, when they started the season, they were pitching him tough, middle away with sliders, and he was chasing them. And then he had that 3-walk game in Detroit where he wasn't chasing them. And I think that's when he started to say, listen, I can't hit that pitch, so why am I swinging at it? And then he came out and he got 4 hits the day after that. I've watched a young Lawrence Butler go up to the plate where everything seemed to be moving so fast. And we kept saying all he really needs to do is slow the game down, hit a home run, had a base hit to drive in a winning run. Has been swinging the bat a lot better. So what I'm seeing from these guys is that they're very coachable. And as I was talking to some of them, they said, man, the game is starting to slow down. And so when the game starts to slow down, that's when the talent comes back. We always say talent comes back. They might struggle in the beginning, but the talent comes back. And it comes back because now you're in a better frame of mind.
He's one of my all-time favorites, just not as a professional and all the things we've done all these years, but as a kid, he was one of my favorite players.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me.
The great Bip Roberts right here on A's Cast Live. Do we have a little buying or selling next?
I think we have that and some John Sterling.
Oh, John Sterling is no longer the voice of the Yankees. Unbelievable. We'll talk about it right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Throws and set. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
You deserve extra. Extra Mile is where you get it. You don't just deserve breakfast. You deserve extra fresh Mile 1 coffee just the way you like it. You deserve more than a quick bite. You deserve an extra satisfying array of hot foods, extra good snacks, and fountain drinks that help you go the extra mile. Plus, with Extra Mile rewards, you can earn free stuff. Visit Extra Mile at select Chevron and Texaco locations. See program terms and conditions for details.
A's Cast Live continues from Ricky Henderson Field. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right. What do we got going here?
Do you want to talk about John Sterling? I mean, final games on Saturday after calling.
Hi, Brody Brazil.
After calling 5,000 games as the Yankees radio broadcaster, John Sterling hanging it up. It's a big deal. I mean, what is he, 85 years old? He's been doing it since he's been over 35 years now. It's a long time.
Well, he's been in the.
Oh yeah,
he did the Braves, right?
Yeah, and the Hawks. He's been doing sports for a while.
I mean, what do you mean for a while? He's been doing it forever.
Oh, I mean, he's 85, so
he's
yes.
85, so he's probably been doing it. I mean, people just think Yankees, but John Sterling has been on. That's why he did the Braves. Let's see here. Is there any reports of why?
I have not seen any.
Because it's kind of weird that, yeah. He changed his name to Sterling and began his broadcasting career in Baltimore, where he served as play-by-play announcer for then the Baltimore Bullets. You would know then as the Washington Bullets. Then would become the Washington Wizards. He also did play-by-play for Morgan State University.
Oh.
John Sterling has been doing play-by-play longer than I've been alive.
An incredible career.
Yeah, you just think Yankees. No. He goes way before the Yankees.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, actually, this is the first time I think I can actually
You
use
want to go through these, right? He served as the radio voice of the WHA's New York Raiders.
So WHA, at least said WHL in like the Western Hockey League.
WHA, the New York Raiders. There's only one Raiders. The greatness of the Raiders. And remember, the greatness in the Raiders is always
in its future.
Thank you, Vito. The WFL's New York Stars. That's got to be hockey.
I'd have to look, yeah.
NHL, he did the Islanders. He's so old, he did ABA New Jersey Nets.
Oh, wow.
ABA.
Yeah, you're going back now.
That's Dr. J right there, right? Didn't Dr. J play for the Nets? Yeah. He was in Atlanta where he did the Braves and the Hawks.
I mean,
this guy's career is unbelievable.
I know. And
the Yankees win. No.
For the first time in my life, I can say a guy's broadcasted as long as I've been alive. 35 years, 35. I mean, incredible career.
He's broadcasted the Yankees for as long as
for one team, 35 years. I mean, incredible career. I was able to get him on our show once, and it was with Alex Jensen. I think you were doing TV that day back in 2019.
Great Alex Jensen.
Who calls games for the AA Missouri Cardinals.
Oh, it's all coming together now.
Yeah, look at it. It's weaving it. It's like the three-man weave.
Yes.
John Sterling, I sent it to Alex. I'm like, hey, go back and listen. I said, in honor of John Sterling, you got to do at least one John Sterling call this week for one of your games.
All right, do we have some of his legendary calls?
Yeah, so I got some of them.
Let's do some of the legendary John Sterling calls. These are I don't think there's many Braves legendary calls.
I got all Yankee calls.
Or New York Raiders calls that he did.
By the way, Mad Dog, Chris Russo had Mike Francesa on his show today, and they talked about John Sterling. I listened to someone on my way up here. Pretty good. They heard Mike and the Mad Dog again talking about John Sterling. But
those are radio. Those are not New York. Those are not sports. Those are two radio Hall of Famers.
Yeah, and they're
getting into the radio Hall of Fame is a whole like
Mad Dog just went in.
Yeah, to get into like the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame is a big deal. It's not sport. Bay Area Radio Hall. Ken Korak is a Bay Area. It's a big deal. This is the radio. Like anybody who's been in the medium, you get into that. Mike and the Mad Dog are in that. That's a big, big deal.
Yeah, Mad Dog went in actually with Susan Waldman, who obviously does the games with John.
Roger Clemens is in the box. Roger Clemens is in George's box. I'll never forget that.
And Susan, I thank you. So the first one I got, you might remember this one. Let's see if you know what it is. I won't.
Let's go.
It'll be a 1-2 to Nixon. And Skirt Steele swung on and popped up. In back of short, Jeter on the run, makes a one-handed running catch and dives into the photographer's area. Oh, what a play by Jeter. You can't believe it. He raced, he caught it, and to break and boy, did he get beat up. He is beat up and bloody in his face. What a play by Jeter, a running catch, and to break his momentum, he dove into the photographer's area, and he's got a cut-up face what a player. Derek Jeter, what a player. You can't say enough about him. What is he? He's a winner. That's what he is. He's a flat-out winner.
You going to debate that?
You guys, pretty good player.
This is what you hear in these calls. Entertainment. It's the number one thing that drives me up the wall with the old school baseball mentality. Is that you're not about entertainment. You're about balls and strikes. And the reality is the average person does not care. The average person, it was the best way that radio was ever explained to me. When people are driving down the road at 70 miles an hour and there's cars going around them at 70 miles an hour and you're switching lanes and all this craziness, you think everybody's hanging on your every pitch?
No.
Yes, somebody who's an old school baseball person, they're going to say yes. And you really think you're that arrogant that you think you're driving down the road that's where the majority of people listening to you is when people are driving. And that was the same thing for us in Sports Talk, where this person said, you think every little point you make that person who's driving down the road and having cars around them who are also going 75 to 80 miles an hour, whether you're 101, 880, 280, 580, whatever. 680. You think everybody's holding on to every point you make? John Sterling, who's been criticized by a lot of people that he's not your traditional play-by-play, that's entertainment.
I completely
That's
agree.
entertainment.
Yes.
That guy's entertaining. He is just the way, his verbiage, his cadence, his vocabulary. He's an interesting guy. He's fun to watch. He's fun to listen to.
All right. So, unfortunately,
Is he ever going to be remembered for the 2-2 pitch?
No, but
here's the pitch.
So here you go. Here's the next one.
All right.
Richardson leads off second. And the pitch is line. Base hit. Right field. Here comes Richardson. Here comes Marquez' throw. It's going to be not in time. Richardson scores on a base hit by Derek Jeter. Is that unbelievable? Or is that unbelievable? Yankees win the ball game. Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
So that was Derek Jeter's final game at Yankee Stadium, the walk-off hit he had.
You hear the crowd. Yeah. That's the new building. The old building would shake.
Yeah,
it would shake.
They had that stadium hit
win.
52,000 people. I remember hearing that's the new old ballpark they could get in there. That's incredible.
I've been in there when it was shaking. It's kind of like, oh.
So I put these in order of like the older. When I say older, I mean like players like the 2000s up. So Jeter. So here's the next one.
Swung on and hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Bernie goes boom. He drills a home run the short way in the right field seats. Burn, baby, burn. And the Yankees tie the ball game at 1.
I like that one.
Okay.
Burn, baby. Bernie Williams, Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Should be.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree.
The next guy, Ace fans will know him well from his time here, but I remember him as a Yankee.
It'll be a 3-0 to Matsui. The pitch swung on, hit in the air to deep center. The air back, way back in deep center. It is gone. Godzilla. A thriller by Godzilla. Hideki Matsui, the Sayonara Kid, just lost one over the center field fence. A 3-run home run, and the Yankees take a 3-0 lead.
Godzilla.
Man, some of these are just so
Samurai
good.
Kid.
Yeah, Sayonara Kid.
I thought it was Samurai.
Hold on.
It'll be a 3-0 to Matsui. Godzilla, Hideki Matsui, the Sayonara Kid.
The Sayonara.
Just lost one.
Sayonara's goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Another legendary guy who should be in the Hall of Fame as well.
Now, Akinori Otsuka is set. It'll be a 3-1 to Posada. Pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. It is a bottom of the 9th. 2 out, 2-run, walk-off home run for Posada. Georgie Juice one. He hits a 2-run home run to elevate the Yankees from a 13-12 loss to a 14-13 win. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Not his best. I'm not going to say Jorge Posada could have done better.
All right. I remember this guy as an A. Some people might remember him as a Yankee.
The pitch swung on and hit in the air to deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. Jason Giambi hits the bottom of the 14th. 1 out. Walk off. Grand slam. And one of the best games you'll ever see. The Yankees rise from the dead in the bottom of the 14th and win the game 13-12. The Giambino, his proudest moment as a Yankee. They mob him at home plate in one of the wildest finishes you'll ever see.
The Giambino.
All right, so this one, that's a good one. This one,
Giambino's a good
this one pretty popular.
Burn Baby Burn is still the best.
No, this one, milestone home run, but also one of his most famous home run calls for the player.
The pitch swung on, hit high in the air, deep down the left field line. It is going to be gone. He's done A long high drive down the left field line, just there for a 3-run home run. Alex Rodriguez has made Major League Baseball history, the youngest player ever to hit 500 home runs. An A-bomb from A-Rod, his 500th home run, his 36th home run of the year.
So that there's.
By the way, the guy with the youngest ever to 500 home runs, 3 MVPs. I want to say he's got 3 MVPs.
Yeah, he sounds about right.
He ended up with 600 something home runs.
Yes, I don't remember the exact number.
3,000 hits, right? Didn't he get there?
Yeah, he ended up with, was it 696 in hits for A-Rod? 696. It's pretty good.
So he's the youngest guy to 500 home runs. Got 600 home runs. 3 MVP. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
He's not in the Hall of Fame. Should be. He's another guy. All right, here's one. We'll get to these quickly now. Here's this guy's more recent.
And we're tied at 2. Here's Mark Teixeira. Breaking ball. Hit in the air to deep right.
Message.
That ball is high. Net is far.
It is gone.
Oh, Mark Teixeira sends a text message into the right field seats. You're on the mark, Teixeira. And Teixeira and Damon go back to back. And a belly to belly. And the Yankees take an 8th inning 3-2 lead.
All right. That was pretty good.
That's awesome. Belly to belly.
All right. Here we go. This is more recent.
All right. Burn Baby Burn is still my favorite.
All right.
Swung on that. There it goes. Deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. He's tied the babe. It's a Judgian blast. His 60th home run of the year. Wow. All rise. Here comes the Judge.
The Judge and Bernie Williams are the 2 best.
And hold on. There's a couple more.
Wow. All right.
I'm just going through the best ones.
How many you got?
And the pitch swung on and drilled to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. Robbie Cano grand slams in the lower deck and right. Robbie Cano, don't you know? His 4-run blast.
All right, there's Robbie Cano. See if you know this one.
Here is the 1-2. Swung on, and there goes deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Over the bullpen into the crowd. It's Gleyber Day. He hits a 3-run home run to left field. And like a good Gleyber, Torres is there.
2 more.
I like it. And by the way, I need more of those for my fantasy team.
Well,
what?
He's not doing great. Just saying. I'm not a Yankee guy, but
nobody on my roster is doing great.
Well, go pick up your guy Blade. He's been hitting. All right, here we go. 2 more. This one is very, very recent.
And the pitch hit in the air down the left field line toward the wall. It's gone. It went over the high wall. Juan Soto's first home run as a Yankee. A fly ball down the left field line. There is a Soto photo. A home run in the left field seats. He's wonderful, marvelous. And the Yankees have now taken a 4-3 lead.
All right, any guess on what the last one I saved for us is? Come on, I forgot the Grandy Man one. I do like that one.
Oh, the Grandy Man. The Grandy Man can. That might be the best.
All right, this one, I like this
Cheaters.
one.
Swung on and drilled to deep right center field. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It is first Yankee at bat. Giancarlo non si può stopparlo. It is a Stantonian home run. A 2-run blast to right center in his first Yankee at bat. And the Yankees take a 2-0 lead.
Too bad. That would be on the IL every year. What a great career.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. And I was like, oh man, I'm like,
and to think about when he joined the Yankees, because I like to tell people when I was growing up, the Yankees sucked. The Yankees were terrible. The first time I ever came to an A's game in 1991 here at the Coliseum, sat right over here. And I was in college at San Jose State. We came here, and they took on the Yankees. It was the first time I'd ever seen the Yankees. I'd never seen the Yankees before. And they were terrible. I was like, Kevin Moss, Espinoza, Mel Hall. They were terrible. So the Yankees they made the playoffs one time in Don Mattingly's career. So he came in, Buck Showalter changes things, strike happens, Showalter ends up getting canned, and he ends up going to Arizona to now start the Arizona Diamondbacks, bring in Joe Torre, and the one of the right place, right time, right? It's what life is. Right place, right time.
Yeah.
He got to the Yankees right before the dynasty would reemerge. The evil empire would rise again. Darth Vader would rise again. Well, Sterling was right there for that. I mean, you couldn't have come at a better time. And then here comes that core group. You got Mariano Rivera. You got Derek Jeter. I mean, you start being surrounded by such great players from David Cone. Early on, they had Jimmy Key and David Wells, John Wetland, Paul O'Neill, who's still part of their broadcast. Bernie Williams is coming up. You'd have guys like Wade Boggs, who's a part, Charlie Hayes, not Key Bryan.
His father.
Charlie Hayes and Wade Boggs were playing first base for that World Series team that they had once again. It was a magical time. Tino, you didn't get Tino the Bambino in there.
Oh, yeah, that's on me. So I miss him and Granderson.
Then came Scott Brocious. I mean, they
all-star Scott Brocious.
Remember, they did it. They took veteran players, guys with experience, who then those guys really, because Brocious stunk here. Paul O'Neill was a world champion with the Reds.
Yeah.
But I mean, guys went to that group and super excelled with that group. It was unbelievable the amount of players that they brought in. Joe Girardi, the amount of players that they brought in that those guys really just, and then later here comes Clemens. I mean, John Sterling got to be there at a super time.
Yeah, he got to
Chuck Knobloch.
Unfortunately, he ended up getting the yips, but yes, he was there. I mean, Alfonso Soriano. I mean,
Robbie Cano, don't you know?
They've had so many guys, and I mean, I'm biased because I know more about the guys from like the mid to late 90s on, but he saw it all. I mean, that's what Francesa and Mad Dog were talking about, is how they got to experience, like they got to watch that with John and like experience all that because the Yankees were winning all the time and it was fun, and his calls were great during that time.
I wonder how much the traditionalists loved it. I bet there are some people who hate it.
Oh, yeah. There's people out there that don't like
Call it like Mel Allen.
Because people are like, oh, no. People are always going to remember him for what happened in that playoff game where he thought Stanton hit a home run and it went to the wall, and he goes, it's out of the ballpark. I think, wait, he's at first base. What did I see wrong? He's at first base. He's at first base.
I mean, people make mistakes.
I mean, he's 85 years old.
Jerry Coleman had the greatest one ever where his papers blew. Ford C. Frick Award winner, Jerry Coleman, former Yankee. And he went down to pick up his papers. He heard crack. And he made some call about it. Oh, it's out of here. It's a foul ball.
There was a good one a couple years.
There's plenty of mistakes.
There was a good one a couple years ago from the Hall of Famer as well, Ford C. Frick winner, John Miller.
John Miller's never made a mistake.
John Miller's mistake was he thought Buster Posey had a grand slam or a home run. He goes, and that's a home run from Buster Posey's best friend, Hunter Pence. Because he thought it was Buster Posey, was actually Hunter Pence at the home run. So we just changed it from Buster Posey's best friend, Hunter Pence.
Speaking of a guy who goes off on tangents and gets away, I mean, how many times does John Miller look out and all of a sudden he's talking about the boats on the San Francisco Bay and he's just going off, and it's like, this has absolutely zero to do with the game.
Yeah.
Zero.
Again, he's a Hall of Famer. So
exactly. He's telling story. You're a storyteller. Tell some stories.
All right, real quick, we'll just play the bad no open. We'll do a little buying or selling because we
have
about 7 minutes. So
buying.
Well, let me lower the music first.
We got a ball game coming up here. Got to win. Got to win. Hey, you got to win tonight if you're going to win the series.
Wow, thanks,
Captain Obvious.
Yeah, thank you. A's have won 3 straight series.
You sound like Greg and Slow.
Thursday.
They got to score more runs or they suck. Thanks.
Thursday, it was announced that Jordan Montgomery was switching to the Wasserman Group, meaning he dropped Scott Boras.
How do you drop super agent Scott Boras?
Remember, Montgomery joined the Diamondbacks after the season had already began. A lot of Boras guys held off for more money and end up getting only essentially one-year deals with opt-outs.
Yeah.
Buying or selling, more players will switch from Scott Boras.
Wow, that is actually that's a question average fans don't care about, but in our business, that is a fascinating question.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to buy time. I mean, if I wanted someone representing me, I'd want Scott Boras. But things are changing, right? I'm going to have to say I have to buy that. I think there's going to be a lot of agents, and there's a lot of good agencies that are going to use the last couple of years, and it's Boras' strategy, right?
Yeah.
We first really got to see it when A-Rod was going to the Texas Rangers, where Scott Boras put out this like 100-something page booklet about every reason why why Alex Rodriguez is going to change the Texas Rangers and Tom Hicks. Remember the Rangers?
Yeah.
We were hearing about this development they wanted to do. Like, we now know Texas Live and that. A-Rod will be the focal point of everything that's the Texas Rangers. And that's what he did for years, and that model's kind of out. So I'm going to buy it. I think he'll still be great, but I think, guys, the philosophy and how you sell yourself and how an agency sells you may change in this whole we're going to sit out and wait. A lot of players don't like doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's going to happen immediately, but I think we're going to see more guys. Remember, Juan Soto's a free agent, and I think Boras is his agent. Juan Soto is looking for the $500 million contract.
Juan Soto turned down $430 million or $60 million.
Reportedly from the Nats.
Will he ever get that again? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see this offseason. I'm going to lean with no, but who knows?
I wouldn't be going to teams that don't have a television contract.
Yeah, unless you're getting a ton of deferred money like Towny did with the
I don't think he wants that.
So last weekend, Steven.
By the way, your Marlins are up on the Giants right now, 5-4.
They were yesterday too, and they blew it. Last weekend, Steven Strasburg officially announced his retirement. He's still owed $105 million.
It's a crime.
He debuted in 2010 against the Pirates and took the baseball world by storm. He struck out 14 batters in that game. The sport became obsessed with velocity and spin over the last few years, as you know. But this is where this question is going. He signed a $245 million 7-year contract in December of 2019, but only threw 528 pitches over 31 1/3 innings in the majors after that. Buying or selling, Steven Strasburg started baseball's obsession with velocity. Spin.
Selling. Nolan Ryan's on the phone. Yeah. Everybody wanted to be Nolan Ryan and throw hard like Nolan Ryan. Steven Strasburg is just a product of what people want to be like Nolan Ryan. They want to strike out. Nolan Ryan struck everybody out. Everybody wanted to be Nolan Ryan. So, wow. Lack of knowledge of the passes on the phone. Jeez. Strasburg is now the strikeout king?
I'm just saying because people loved him at San Diego State, and he debuted, and he threw a wicked curveball.
Most people don't even know he went to San Diego State.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, baseball people liked him. Like, he was the most hyped prospect. They're calling Paul Skeens the most hyped prospect since Steven Strasburg.
Striking people out and power pitching, the guy was Nolan Ryan.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree
with
that.
Express. So I'm selling.
So the Yankees.
To your recency bias.
The Yankees ace, Garrett Cole, hasn't pitched all season with an elbow issue. It's been reported he could be back in early June. He's supposed to start
with Brandon Crawford's brother-in-law.
Yeah, that's true.
B-Craw.
B-Craw's here.
By the way, did you see he's trying to do his hair like Brandon Crawford plays here?
Yeah.
And then his hair, all the Giants people want to interview Cody about his hair and ask him if he wanted to do it like Brandon Crawford.
Yeah, I just don't have that, whatever the stuff he puts in there, make it curly.
Can you imagine
all the time.
I mean, no offense if they're listening in the elevator, because once you say no offense, but the fact that all the Giants people flocked here for a 37-year-old Brandon Crawford.
With 11 at-bats. 11 at-bats. 11.
Hey, really?
It's the first time he's been back.
Once again, no offense. Really?
We're
all going to flock here to watch Brandon Crawford sit the bench? That's what you're doing?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Giants are in Florida. You didn't want to go to Miami and Tampa?
Clearly, there's nothing to write about the San Francisco Giants this year.
So Garrett Cole supposed to start a throwing program in May. He's been very outspoken about the pitching injuries. Time will tell if he's going to be able to make it back. Buying or selling?
But I want to preface this last one. I do not mean that about Susan Slusser. It was great to see
we talked to her
Susan
yesterday.
back because this is one of the houses Susan's built. Susan Slusser, this is her home.
Yeah.
She can go over to the Giants all she wants. It was a good career move. We all know that. But this place is Susan Slusser's home.
Oh, no, I agree.
Sorry for interrupting. I just had to put that out
So
there.
buying or selling, Garrett Cole will return to the mound this season.
Why would you do that?
What? Ask the question or come back?
No, why would you come back? I'm selling.
Oh, I don't know.
It's 14 months.
Yeah, but he hasn't had anything wrong. He doesn't need Tommy John yet.
Haley Alvarez is on the IL. What's everybody's falling apart. Even our front office is now hurt. What's going on?
At least it's not an arm injury.
Uh-huh. It's not your UCL, is it? We don't know Tommy John. No. Yeah, I'd have to buy. We're gonna see him again.
Yeah, I would think.
Didn't he just get a PRP injection?
I don't know.
PRP, platelet, whatever the heck it's called.
I just know he's supposed
We
to.
only play doctors on A's Cast Live.
I just know he's supposed to be back at some point.
But aren't you like if he comes back and he really does hurt and he's got Tommy John, then he's out for next year.
Yes, and
how long was it? Was it a 10-year contract or 8 years? Can't remember.
Cole was it wasn't 10. Might have been. Not was it 9 for 326?
Because basically this year's it was 9. So this is 1 year of the deal lost.
9 for 324.
If he comes back and he's not, I mean, that's almost like if you want to put the bracket in, right? And now we're seeing how fast guys come back with the bracket. Because if he doesn't pitch or he comes back like late in the year and then he hurts it and it's like, oh, we got to have the surgery. That's 2 years. Two out of this 9-year deal he couldn't pitch.
And he's 33 years old. So he's 25.
Oh, wow.
So he's our last hope to see a guy maybe get to 200 wins.
180?
Yeah. 150? No, we got some guys that we get there. But Cole 200. I mean, he's like,
wins don't matter.
Yeah, but still matters.
Batting average doesn't matter.
Still matters for the Hall of Fame criteria.
RBIs are now a team stat. They don't matter.
I don't know why people say that.
I don't get. I'm just going by what you guys tell me.
I'm not in that camp of the RBI as a team stat.
It's a team stat. Team stat. It doesn't matter. Okay. This would be like if I'm a lawyer. Well, can I ask you the question, counselor? If he always has these RBIs and his team is always changing him around him, how's it a team stat?
Yeah, if he's still putting up numbers.
The human beings around him are always changing. Like, give me a guy. Henry Aaron had how many 2,000-something?
Yeah.
You're saying Henry Aaron played with all the same guys for 20-something years?
Pujols.
A-Rod, Pujols, Bonds.
You could say Babe Ruth, he probably did play with the same guys.
You played with all these different players all these years, and you always had massive Stan Musial. You had all these massive RBI. Willie Mays. You had all these, but the human beings change around you, but yet you keep knocking in all these runs. So how's it a team? By the way, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to go through it. Henry Aaron played on some bad teams. Guess what? He had a bunch of RBIs, even on bad teams.
Yes, that is 100% factual. But that's it for today. So we'll save the rest for later, including the great audio I played for you earlier of Ozzie Guillen talking about something with batting average. We'll save for Friday.
It's a fascinating thing that Ozzie, and there's not many things that Ozzie Guillen says that's fascinating. Are we doing that win?
Friday.
All righty. A's Cardinals, game 2 of the 3-game set. Next on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network. And I'll be back in 12 minutes. Thank you for watching and listening to A's Cast Live.
This is Chris Townsend. There are 2 things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.